Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the New York State Trauma Informed Network and Resource Center's Breath, Body, Mind information session. My name is Denise Kwamina, and I am one of the senior consultants with the New York State Trauma Informed Network and Resource Center. And before we get into the information session, I want to give a brief story of our network and the listing of our offerings. Next slide. In 2016, the New York State Office of Mental Health and Coordinated Care Services Incorporated convened a group of trauma-informed care champions from across New York State to connect and to collaborate, and thus form the Trauma-Informed Network in 2018. And in 2022, the Office of Mental Health increased funding and resources to support expansion of the network and created the New York State Trauma Informed Network and Resource Center. And next slide, please. And so we envision a New York State where all the people and the communities can attain wellness and resiliency, and systems have the tools to support healing from toxic stress and trauma. Next slide. All of the work that we do is grounded in these guiding values and principles. Next slide. There are several pathways for engagement with the New York State Trauma Informed Network and Resource Center. And we have divided them into 4 buckets. Next slide, please. And under connection and collaboration, we have the Advisory Council, quarterly network meetings, featuring podcasts. You can sign up on the website, and you can sign up to get our monthly newsletter. And we also have our annual conference, which this year is going to be our 4th conference in Saratoga Springs, Saratoga Hilton, on September 22nd and 23rd. And under the Trauma Informed Care, we have trainings, Tending the Roots direct training and the instructors edition. We also have an assessment tool, the Trauma Responsive Understanding Self-Assessment Tool. We have one that's designated for organization as well as one for schools. And the results of when an organization decide to distribute this for their organization, for their staff, the results will give a snapshot of where they are on a trauma responsive journey. Under outreach and engagement, we have the storytellers in residence. This is where individuals could apply to tell their stories. We also have the 10RC on tour. This is where we go to different localities within the state and invite other organizations to can share what good work that they're doing in their locality. We also, under prevention and wellness, we have assorted, curated resources, and we have the breath, body, mind, which you're going to hear more of in a few minutes. Next slide, please. And the breath, body, mind is a set of gentle exercises that are based on science and designed to help ease stress and calm your mind and body. And for 2026, we have increased our number of practice sessions. They're all virtual and free of charge to all New Yorkers, offered in English and Spanish. You don't need any experience to join. And we have, as I said, a wide range of practice sessions to fit your schedule. At the end of Dr. Gerbarg's talk, I will come back and give you more information on the different practice sessions that's being offered. And so thank you so much. And I am going to introduce Dr. Gerbarg to tell us more about breath, body, mind, the science, and the benefits.
Thank you very much, Denise. We're very excited about the rollout of these programs for all New Yorkers. The Breath, Body, Mind program was created over the last 25 years by my husband, Dr. Richard Brown, and myself. We're both psychiatrists. And we have found over the years that it is a very effective and safe way to help people reduce stress, the effects of trauma, improve their energy, and cope with mass disasters and mass population stresses. Next slide, please. We know that pandemics place heavy burdens on an already strained healthcare service. So during the COVID pandemic, workers in healthcare systems endure prolonged stress affecting their physical and emotional well-being. And we know that one provider for each person doesn't work when systems are overwhelmed. Next. So I'm going to briefly review the science behind what we do. The autonomic nervous system has two main branches. The sympathetic system gets us ready for action, either to fight or run away, and also regulates the glands and organs. But it burns up a lot of energy and depletes us. When the situation of stress or trauma has passed, the parasympathetic system is supposed to come into play. And that's the system that helps restore and heal the body and also calm the mind and restore our energy. Next, please. But when there's prolonged severe stress and the sympathetic system remains active for too long, it can cause changes in our stress response system that reduce our ability to work effectively and increase vulnerability to cumulative emotional and physical impairments, deterioration in our relationships, and professional burnout. Workers become locked in a defensive psychophysiological state in which they feel unsafe, anxious, overwhelmed, and exhausted. Next. So the goals of our intervention are to rapidly and effectively relieve this situation and restore a normal balance. The techniques are low risk, non-stigmatizing, relatively inexpensive, group interventions, and sustainable because we can quickly train local individuals to become teachers. Next. Breath, Body, Mind is a program of gentle movement, breathing, and relaxation developed over the last 25 years and has shown itself to be effective during and after mass disasters. So the question is, why are breathing practices so powerful? And there's a good deal of evidence also for safety and efficacy, not only for adults, but also for children. Next. Breathing and emotion have a bidirectional relationship. Intense emotions are associated with particular breathing patterns. And in the reverse direction, if we change our pattern of breathing, we can have a very significant impact on our emotional state. And we call what we do voluntarily regulated breathing practices. Next. The most common imbalance in the autonomic system and a target for the treatment of anxiety, depression, and PTSD. The imbalance is one in which there is an overactivity in the sympathetic system and an underactivity in the parasympathetic system. Now, the medications used the anti-anxiety medications will reduce the overactivity in the sympathetic system, but they do not strengthen the parasympathetic system, so an imbalance can remain. Through a practice we call coherent breathing, we can restore balance by both reducing the sympathetic overdrive and at the same time increasing the parasympathetic activity. Next. Slow breathing practices reduce emotional overreactivity, particularly the limbic system, as well as reducing the excess cortisol levels, and at the same time increase the activity in our higher thinking centers, as in the prefrontal cortex. And what you see here, you can see several of the organs and the vagus nerve, which is the main pathway for most of the parasympathetic system, and it communicates between the brain and the body. So when we change, for example, our pattern of breathing, we change the messages that are being sent from the respiratory system, in which there are millions of receptors, all sending information up through the vagus nerves to the brain. So we change the pattern of breathing, we change the pattern of those messages going up through the vagus nerve, up through the thalamus, and from there going out to all the major regulatory areas of the brain, including a branch going to the limbic system, as well as to the hypothalamus that ultimately regulates our cortisol release. And the net result is improvement in the whole emotion regulatory system. Next, please. When we do coherent breathing, we increase the vagal parasympathetic activity. It is a gentle breathing between 3 and 6 breaths per minute for the average adult, and the length of the in-breath is equal to the length of the out-breath, gently in and out through the nose without force or pressure, producing a unique neurophysiological state in which a person is both calm, but at the same time alert with good cognitive functions. Next. So for adults, as I said, the average adult, 4.5 to 6 breaths per minute. We generally use 5 as an average. People over 6 feet tall, a little slower, and children need slightly faster rates. Next slide. After an individual learns to do coherent breathing with their eyes closed, and we recommend 20 minutes a day if possible, then they can learn to do it with their eyes open anytime during the day, while out walking, during work. If there's stress going on, they can calm themselves down with their eyes open and keep working in any stressful situation. So it's very practical. Next. This is a list of the clinical studies which we have published. You can just get a sense. We've done a wide range of populations, from schizophrenia to people with severe inflammatory bowel disease. We've worked with veterans with treatment-resistant PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder. We did a lot of work with people affected by the World Trade Center attacks, first responders, area residents, people who escaped from the towers. We've dealt with people surviving war, slavery, and all kinds of terrorist attacks. Most recently, we've been doing a lot of work in Ukraine, where we've trained over 400 breath, body, mind teachers, as well as those working with the military, and in many other countries. Next slide. This is just a picture of Dr. Brown teaching a group in Chemung County, where our programs really got rolling. Next slide. And here he is leading another sequence of breathing and movement. Next slide. This is a program with one of our teachers in Rwanda, where they have treated over 8,000 people using breath, body, mind, many of them genocide survivors, and they've had great benefits there. Next slide. This is a 4th grade class, an inner city class, one of the lower performing schools in New York City. Dr. Brown taught some of the teachers there some very simple practices to use in their classroom, and they immediately began teaching the children. This is called Ha breath, which the kids love to do, and is very helpful in terms of quickly enabling them to regulate intense emotions. In this school, the biggest problem they had were children who were so unable to regulate their emotions that when they got upset, they would scream uncontrollably and run out of the school into the street, and just have to call the police and find them and all of that. After they started teaching the children these practices, and the children learned to use them on their own whenever they need to, the kids stopped screaming uncontrollably. They're no longer running out of the school. And it's very good for helping them in the classroom immediately focus, come into a state where they can pay attention, sit at their desks and learn. Next slide, please. You can see here Bill and Martha Benedict, 2 of our earliest supporters in Chemung County. Some of you know them. Here is a picture of them at the 2019 Special Olympics, teaching the children there. The kids loved the practices so much they kept coming back to their booths over and over. Next slide. This is a girl in an after-school program. You can see on her tummy is a little stuffed animal we call a breathing buddy, and we use it to help teach the children coherent breathing. Next slide. So the effects are that coherent breathing reduces defensive reactions, fear and anger. It activates feelings of being safe, connected to others. It enables loving and being loved feelings to occur, and it counteracts emotional isolation. Next slide. This is the website for our nonprofit foundation, which helps to support our projects in countries where there have been disasters, as well as in the United States. Our main website, Breath, Body, Mind, as well as TINRC. Next slide. And I believe you wanted to talk about the practice sessions,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And like I mentioned earlier, these are the listing of practice sessions we have incorporated for 2026 with the plan of having 7 days a week. But so now, for now, in addition to our Tuesday sessions and the one at 8 o'clock in Spanish on Wednesday, we have added 5 more sessions, and these are them. And if you have your phone with you, you can take a snap of the QR code, which will take you to the site, will give you all of the sessions and the one link. It's easy this go around where you have the one link that will take you to any of the sessions. You can do one session, you can do the 3 sessions a day, you can do all 9 sessions. It's totally up to you. And we would love to have you to all of them. Next slide, please. Any questions? Any-
Denise, I think someone has their hand
Yes,
raised.
someone with a hand.
Teresa.
Teresa, yeah.
Hi. Yeah, I have two questions. One is about the research related to SUD. Is there any out there? I mean, I know most folks with SUD are trauma survivors, but is there any direct research that using these techniques with people with substance use disorder? That's question one.
Well, that's a wonderful question. We have not done studies, though we have experience in that area, and we've also published a chapter in a textbook, which I can give you the reference to on that subject. There have been some studies using slow breathing techniques, not our particular program, showing significant benefits in people who are in treatment centers using breathing. Most of those have been done in India. But our experience has been that, you see, people who are going through withdrawal and who have addictions, it's known that their autonomic nervous systems are very dysregulated. And when we teach them our practices, within 15 or 20 minutes, a lot of their physical symptoms of withdrawal calm down. They stop shaking, they stop sweating, they don't feel nauseous, they calm down, they're hyper irritable. And we worked with an acute detox unit and just gave one session and taught some of the staff there some very simple techniques. And they told us afterwards that in the first week when they started using it, 4 patients who were going to sign out AMA, when they taught them, when they sat them down and had them do the breathing that we had taught them, they decided to stay. They didn't have to sign out. They were able to come under control. And we saw, even during that short session, people went from being angry and irritable to apologizing for swearing at us and calming down. So we would love to do a study. I think it would show very good results, and I hope that some of you will get interested in that.
Yeah, thank you. Just and another just quick question about the coherent breathing, because it's the equal in breath and out breath, and I have read some things about the prolonged exhalation being the thing that does reset the sympathetic. So, can you speak
So
to?
Absolutely, absolutely. It is true. When you breathe in, you activate the sympathetic system. And when you breathe out, you activate the parasympathetic system. And many people think that all you need to do is activate the parasympathetic system. But that's not true because both systems are dysregulated and we need both systems. So what you really need is to get both systems to function in a proper balance. And because there's an equal length on the inhale and an equal length on the exhale in coherent breathing, you are activating them equally and bringing about, if you, for example, look at something like heart rate variability, which shows you the activity of the sympathetic and parasympathetic system, the true balance comes about with coherent breathing. And that's why we do it. Also, a lot of people think, well, if you just do breathing out with the parasympathetic system, yes, that will calm people down, but it also tends to not help their cognitive functions and other functions that need the sympathetic component. So to get what we think of as the sweet spot, that state where the person's mind is thinking well and they're calm and their emotions are being balanced and regulated, that's why we chose coherent breathing, because we looked at many, many different, there are hundreds of different counts you can use and so on. But this was the simplest, the safest, and we found for most people the most effective. Now, do we ever use an increase on the out breath? Yes. If people want to sleep better at night, we will have them sometimes double the length of the out breath because it is more sedating.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Anyone else? Michaela?
Is this breathing technique safe for pregnant individuals?
That's one of my favorite questions. It is so safe and so helpful for women during pregnancy. It's been found that the mother's heart rate variability affects, and this is again a measure of the balance of the sympathetic and parasympathetic system, affects the heart rate variability of the developing infant in utero. And this is one of the reasons why when mothers are very stressed or anxious, it can impair in various ways the development of the baby. So when the mother's heart rate variability is balanced and optimized, then you're going to have the ideal conditions for growth and development of the baby. And we have one of our teachers worked 7 years on a neonatal intensive care unit with high risk teenage mothers and so forth. And she would teach them coherent breathing during their pregnancy, use it during delivery because it helps them stay calm and it also reduces pain. And then afterwards, because when the parents are so anxious and the babies in the neonatal intensive care are so fragile, you have a situation where they can't co-regulate the babies effectively. When she would teach the parent to do coherent breathing as they held the baby in kangaroo care, then the babies began to flourish. They were able to feed better. They would stop regurgitating. The parents would be calmer. So it's wonderful. And I would love to see this on every unit dealing with women, pregnancy, and after childbirth.
Thank you.
Are there any texts that we need to respond to?
There was just one question in the chat that was about the availability of teacher training. So I did respond that through the network this year, we are not offering teacher training sessions. However, what the first step is to join practice sessions and learn these sessions yourself. And Dr. Brown, Dr. Gerbarg, if you want to talk about that more, I know there's other teacher opportunities for other training through BBM itself.
Yes, if you visit our website, breath-body-mind.com, we list there people have to start with their fundamentals course, which is a 12-hour program, and then once a week for 6 weeks. And then they can qualify to take our level 1 teacher training, which we do offer. It's apart from the Office of Mental Health offerings. We have some scholarship support. Unfortunately, we can't provide that for free because we have to support our teachers for those programs. But yes, if you go to our website, there's information about the whole teacher training sequence. A lot of the programs are online. Dr. Brown and I will be teaching in person at Propalo this summer, a fundamentals course and some other things. So there's lots out there for you to tap into.
Any other questions? Well, if you're interested in doing Breath Body Mind in person, next slide, please. You will be able to do so with Dr. Brown at our 4th annual Join the Journey conference in September, the 23rd, 22nd and 23rd at Saratoga Springs at the Saratoga Hilton. And you will be able to do this with a lot of other participants in the group. Next slide. And this is how you can get involved, following us on social media, get listed in our directory, join the BBM session, join a quarterly network meeting, take the trust survey, listen to our podcast, and subscribe for our newsletter. Next slide. If you follow this QR code, it'll take you to the website where you will see all of the initiatives mentioned earlier, including ways to sign up, join in on the Breath, Body, Mind sessions of your choice. And now I'll send it back to Dr. Gerbarg, who will introduce Dr. Brown. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so now Dr. Brown is going to lead you in some of our basic practices, and I'm going to turn it over to him.
So just imagine you're 4 or 5 years old again, because when you do these things, if you have that mind and the imagination of a 4 or 5-year-old, it just makes everything happen pretty effortlessly. The other thing I find teaching all over the world, not just in New York State and the US, that people are looking at their computers and phones all the time like this. And we're going to start kind of working with breathing and a little gentle movement to kind of change those muscles in a different pattern. So if you just kind of bring your hands up here, and the breathing is going to be gentle and effortless. So breathing in, I'm looking up, my hands and elbows are going back just as far as you're comfortable. Don't push anything. And then breathing out, slowly coming back where we started. Breath in, beginning to look up. Shoulder blades are coming closer together. And breathing out. Again, breathing in. Breathing out. Now, if you kind of clasp your fingers on the back of your head and breathing in, kind of really stretching back some. And then breathing out slowly, 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 coming over, elbows coming forward. Don't push anything. Just really gentle. Just feel what's happening there. Breathing in, going back, beginning to look up, shoulder blades coming together. And breathing out. Once more, breathing in. Breathing out. And breathing in. Hands go to one side, the chin goes to the other. And breathing out. Let's switch. Breathing in. Breathing out. And now bringing your arms up here Breathing in, slowly, gently. Feel the breath coming into your nose. And then breathing out. Some people call this scarecrow. Breathing in, coming back up slowly, slowly. Really feel what's happening in your shoulders as you do this. And I'm going a little bit back. If you're comfortable doing that, that's okay. And then breathing out, coming forward. And breathing in, really opening up. Breathing out, give yourself a hug. Breathe out slowly. Breath in. Then breathing out. And now bringing your hands right here. I'm going to move back a little bit. See. So I have an energy ball in my hands. Remember when you're 5 years old, you have this amazing imagination. So feel your ball. You may see it in your mind's eye. Now, kids love this particular exercise usually. Breathing in, feel the ball pulling back from your palms and fingertips as the ball gets bigger. And then breathing out, pump some energy into the ball. Feel the ball pushing back against your palms and fingers. Breath in. And breath out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now squeeze that ball of energy into a brilliant, bright point of light into one of your palms, whichever you want. And let's put it into the heart, because people seem, especially when you're a therapist, you're very depleted of heart energy these days, taking care of people. Can you see in your mind's eye and feel the energy flowing from your heart through the arm back to the heart? Then relax your palms a moment on your lap. Now, I just want to show you for a second the breath that was crucial in the kids giving up the anger and running. It took a couple months, but they were so grateful, the teachers. So we're going to do a pretty simple kind of what we call an empowering breath. So you saw the kids there, kind of their arms went up as they breathed in, and then you go, ha, just letting your arms drop relaxed next to your ribs. I'm not doing it stiffly. I'm doing it, it's very relaxed. And we're not hyperventilating either. Okay. So join me. Breath in. Ha! Breath in. Ha! Breath in. Ha! In. Ha! In. Ha! In. Ha! In. Ha! In. Ha! 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 Two more. Ha! Ha! Now close your eyes. Let your hands relax on your lap. Where do you feel the energy has changed most inside your body? Feel the sensations throughout your body. Notice your thoughts. Notice your feelings, whatever they are, positive, negative. Notice the qualities of your breathing. And something the kids in Chemung County taught us, they like this breathing too, because, one of the problems in school, kids are made to be active and make noise and express things, okay? And they're being made to sit quietly all day. And many schools have gotten rid of physical exercise at all. So they have this buildup of energy, and finding they can release it and be in control of it really helps them a lot. And they pay much better attention throughout the class. But the kids in Chemung County said, we like that kind of breathing, but we came up with this on our own. So you imagine as you breathe in, you draw in love from the ends of the universe and you put it in your heart, and then you send it out to each other on the program. If you're live in a school or a community center, you do it right there with everybody. So if your hands come out, breathe in the love from all over the universe, send it out to each other on the program. Ah, breath in. Oh, breathing in. Ah, two more.
Ah,
Ah, one more.
ah,
Relax, close your eyes. Feel the changes inside your body. What are you feeling in your hands and fingers? Maybe your throat, your head, throughout your body. And opening our eyes. Whether working with kids or veterans, it often helps to hold the breath. Sometimes when you're especially angry or terrified, it kind of can reset the system quickly. So let's do a little bit of breathing. We'll start with a really easy one and then maybe do a little bit more advanced. And when we teach this to veterans, this is usually what they teach their friends first to stop the anger and really help sleep at night. And we're going to use hand movements. You don't have to if you don't feel like it, but if you can. So I have my hands kinds of palms up right below my navel. And we're going to breathe in, come up, hold, and then go down and hold. But just follow my counts. So breathing in, hands coming up, turning over around the face. Hold two. Breathing out, coming down. Three, four, pause two. Again, breath in, coming up. Three, four, hold the breath two. Breath out, coming down. Two, three, four, pause two. Breath in, pause, breath out. Pause two. Last one of these, breath in, pause two, and breath out. Two, three, four, pause two. Relax, close your eyes. Observe your mind. Feel the sensations throughout your body. Feel the rhythm your breath wants to be in. As we practice, we begin to increase the length of time that we pause the breath a little bit, a little more breath out compared to the breath in. And it's very helpful, but I want to move on to coherent breathing. So we find to learn coherent breathing, since it's about a third the rate or less of how people ordinarily breathe, we find it helps to anchor the experience of it with a simple movement. And we'll use a simple movement today. It comes from China. It's called painting the waterfall. You imagine you're painting the waterfall, and you can feel the waterfall on the back of your hand as you come up, and you can feel it on the palm side of your hand as you come down. So breath in, hands floating up. And breathing out, feel the water on your hands, both ways. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breathing out. Relax a moment. Feel the changes in your hands and fingers, maybe your arms, and through the rest of the body. Now let's really focus on the breathing. Even more so, I'm going to pace you with my voice. This is continuous effortless breathing. In two different laboratories in the world, they found when people breathe like this, everything you could measure from any system in your body, in other any kind of measurement, hormonally, everything becomes optimal and it lasts for quite a while after you do it. So, if possible, you'll close your eyes. Many people who've been stressed, traumatized, can't close their eyes for weeks, including prisoners. But if you can, close your eyes. If it's hard to close them all the way, close them at least part way and kind of look down in front of you about 45 degrees. Before we start, when you're just learning it, it helps to take a breath in and get a long sigh out, and we relax our muscles quickly. So we'll do two sighs out. Take a breath in. Another breath in. Relax the muscles of your face. Just let go. Relax your scalp on the top and sides and back of your head and neck. Relax your shoulders, arms and hands. Relax the muscles in your upper back, around your spine and shoulder blades. And you may feel your shoulders and shoulder blades kind of settle a little bit. Relax the muscles between the ribs. You get better with practice at that. It's a little subtle at first. Relax the muscles around your belly and lower back. Relax your legs and feet. The whole body. And we're going to breathe in and out through the nose, if possible, effortlessly, continuously. And I'll give you some other directions as we do it. Breath out. Breath in. Gently, effortlessly, belly gets bigger. Breath out. Belly gets smaller. Breath in. Feel the breath coming into your nose. Breath out. Feel it leaving your nose. Breathing in gently, gently. You don't have to fill your lungs. Breath out. You don't have to squeeze all the air out. Breath in. Breath out. Relaxing a little more each time you breathe out. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Rest your attention on feeling the breath moving in and out of your nose. Breathing in. Whatever distractions come, let them float by. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Can you make it even more delicate and gentle? Breath in. Breathing out. Just let go a little more. Breath in. Breath out. Let the distractions go by like clouds in the sky. Breathing in. Breathing out. When your mind drifts away, bring it back to feeling the breath moving in and out. Breath in. Breath out. Let your eyes and hands be still. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in, the belly gets bigger. A little bit. Breathing out, the belly gets smaller. If your belly's going the opposite way, join me. Breath in, belly a little bigger. Breath out, belly a little smaller. Feel the breath moving in and out. Breath in. Breath out. Breathing in. Breathing out. It's just happening. Breath in. Breath out. Can you imagine you are becoming the breath? Breathing in. Breathing out. The breath is filled with space. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Let the eyes and hands be still. Breath in. Breath out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in, imagine the reality that the breath is bringing life to every cell. But imagine as you breathe out, you're filled with empty space. Breathing in, filling with life. Breathing out, filled with empty space, like a beautifully polished flute, perhaps. Breath in. Breath out, filled with space. Breath in. Breath out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Imagine a beautiful smile comes onto your face. Breathing in. How does the smile change the quality of your breathing? Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out, letting go a little more as you breathe out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breath in, gently, effortlessly. Breathing out, very subtle. Breath in. Breath out. And just let your breath go into whatever rhythm it wants to be in without your controlling it. Can you feel that rhythm it wants to be in without changing it? Can you feel how the energy inside your body has changed? You may feel pulses throughout your body that you don't usually, because in fact, your blood vessels are now working like a small child's, very flexible, relaxed. Your whole system is much more flexible. Become aware of the skin all over your whole body and the air and the clothes touching every skin, part of the skin all over the body. Become aware of your feet and toes, the space inside your feet and toes, and the space around and between your toes and feet. And become aware not only of your feet and toes, but ankles and lower legs. We're going to move up to the top of the head gradually. Now add in the space inside your knees, especially that tender spot at the back of your knee where it bends. Really feel those lower legs. And now flowing up through the upper legs, so the whole of both legs and feet, into the belly, and the internal organs, digestive, reproductive, eliminative, lungs and heart, feeling the space between the sternum, the breastbone, and the spine, the backbone. Shoulders, arms and hands filled with space. Throat and neck, feel the breath moving through your windpipe. Through the head, the whole body. And let's take a deep breath in and let it out with a sigh. Breath in. Ah. Listen to the noises in the room you're in. Maybe the hum of the computer or electricity. And then the sounds beyond the room you're in. Outside. Gradually ready. You can stretch like a cat awakening from a nap. And so we just did that for a few minutes. And I invite people to share what your experience of that was. And when we do this, we release old stress. So some people feel great. Some people have some unpleasant feelings at first. It's okay. Yeah, you may feel changes in your body, changes in your breath, changes in your thoughts and feelings. Memories may come up about things you've forgotten. And we think healing processes are set in motion. And the bigger the group, the more powerful it is. So we're meant to be together at times in large groups to share our energy. And if you want, you can text.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the chat, but we have a number of people who have wrote in that they're feeling lighter, peaceful, noticing a difference in their mind, feeling rested, grounded, delicious, relaxing and calm, peace and less tension.
What would it be like at work if you felt this way all day as you do other things, which you can learn to do? And imagine then if everybody else did it too. You get more done more easily.
Uh, Wonderful. I'm noting our time and knowing that we're coming at the end of our time together. First, I want to thank very much Dr. Brown and Dr. Gerbarg for sharing their expertise, sharing this practice with us. Thanking all the folks who took and made the time to join us today to learn about this. We hope that we continue to see you online in the virtual sessions, and that you also, join us in other ways and connect with the network. We'd love to hear from you. And we're just really feeling grateful right now. So thank you so much.